Yeah. Rick said that obviously, the plan is to sign as many as your guys as possible. With Woods now signed, who's your next priority?
Well, we do have a list of free agents we're all working on. Priority. They're all priorities. I mean, we like our football team. We want to get as many guys back as we can to keep the continuity within the group.
What are the challenges going to be in getting Matthew Betts done? Because I'm concerned with 2 weeks to go that he still isn't signed when you look at all the signs that you've had.
Yeah. We live in a salary cap world. I mean, all the pieces have to fit. It would be nice to, I've said this before, it'd be nice to just have not a cap and just build this football team, because then you would be, really good. But that's not the world we live in. I mean, we live within the constraints that the league gives us, and we're, trying to live within those means.
Where are those negotiations at with Betts? What's your sense on it, Neil?
Yeah, we're still in the process. I mean, it all has to fit. It has to fit for him. It has to fit for us. I mean, it's all financially. There's dominoes. I mean, you can get the deal done today, but then the dominoes would be, almost too catastrophic for us to deal with. So we're working with it. We're trying to get it all done. I mean, like I said, we're trying to get as many guys back. He's a good football player. He's certainly a good guy, and means a lot to this football team. We're just trying to get as many guys back as we can.
When is the point of no return in terms of either waiting too long in the next 2 weeks to get a deal done, or the asking price becoming too absorbent?
Well, there is no point of no return. I mean, it's fluid. It's ongoing. I mean. I know guys call me and say, is anything going to happen today? No, it's 5 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock you get 3 deals done. I mean, it's just the way this world works. It's ongoing, and so we're just working to get as many guys done as we can.
Talking about the dominoes, the same question I threw to Rick. I mean, there has to come a point though where either you fish or cut bait, and because of the fact that you do have those resources that you try to allocate towards Betts, but if he doesn't sign, now you have to use those resources elsewhere, and hopefully there's still talent in the free agent pool that you can go out there and sign.
Yeah, we will we will spend those resources with Betts and everyone else. Like, again, in the salary cap world, you're not spending to the minimum; you're spending to the max, and trying to maintain as much as you can. So I have no problem that those resources will be spent.
Does hosting the Grey Cup kind of place any added pressure on free agency and your kind of approach going in? I know Rick has talked about that the goal every year is to win, but is there, I guess, more of a focus on winning now because of hosting?
Not really. I know they have been asked that question before. Not really. I guess if you always want to win, regardless if the Grey Cup was, as I said earlier, anywhere. So yeah, no. I mean, we want to win. The festival this year is going to be in Vancouver. It's going to be a great week. It's going to be an amazing event, and we're going to do the best we can to be in it. But if the game was in anywhere else, I'd say the same thing.
How much? Obviously, you want a guy like Betts to follow what he did, right? CFL Defensive Player of the Year, that all the sacks he put on, helping your defense get to where it was. It's the perfect storm for him, but it's also the worst one for you because obviously his asking price has gone up considerably.
Mm.
How much do you look at that? You're pleased to see the player. Now you're like, I got my back against the wall.
Well, again, it's not so much back against the wall, just making sure it all fits. The integrity of the football team has to continue on. We've seen teams that have overspent for a player, and the expectations also rise, and so we're doing the best we can to make this all fit and to make everyone happy, to make this football team the team it can and will be. It just takes time. It takes time to get it all the pieces together.
Do you get the impression that you would like to sign here, especially with it being a Grey Cup year, or you also get the fact that being a French Canadian, there could possibly be bang for him in Montreal and he's going to be a free agent?
Yeah, I don't get. I get the feeling he wants to be a BC Lion. I mean, we have the French connection downstairs. We do have a good group of French Canadians on our football team, so I don't necessarily think Vancouver is a detriment. I know people always say, "Oh, the player wants to be back in Montreal." I don't necessarily know. I don't know if that's true. And Matthew's an amazing individual. He's a great person in our community and a great person for this football team. We're just trying to make it work and get him here.
How much do you feel you need to retool and maybe add even more pieces compared to what we saw last year in order to get you to that?
Yeah, you certainly have to, maintain the current group and fill it. And our scouts, I have the utmost, our guys are working hard. We're at the Senior Bowl right now. We're signing many American free agents that are going to be good pieces to those puzzles and questions. So when we come to training camp, we're going to have some tough decisions to make. I know it's easy to, we send out a press release, or Matt sends out a press release, and these guys are just names, but these are names that we've worked really long and hard, had on our neg list, talked to many times. Getting the player into Canada is not what it used to be. It just isn't. I'd like to say that, hey, the doors are open and they all want to come here. They don't. Crossing a border, living in Canada sometimes has issues for these guys. So we do a really due diligence and work hard on getting as many good players as we can up here. And our scouting staff is continuing to do that.
I would assume you and Rick are on the same page in regards to a backup quarterback. He told you that his wish would be to have a veteran backup quarterback. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'd like to, and I think we will. It's just a matter of who that guy will be. There are some high-profile backup quarterbacks coming back into our league that I know that are looking for not necessarily number 2 spots, maybe 1B, but we just don't have that situation. And sometimes it's tough to talk to these guys about being number 2 today when they want to be 1 or 1B. And, Vernon is our quarterback. Vernon's our guy, and we're excited about Big Play VA coming back. So there is no 1B. We're looking for a 2 and 3.
Okay, one more question. Have you chatted with Nathan Rourke at all? Is he so far, do you think he's still in his mindset, or have you chatted with him about the season he had?
Yeah, nothing about the – yes, the easy answer is yes. But just on a personal level, nothing about BC Lions other than he is more in tune with what we're doing than we think, and more than you'd think it would be. And a lot of guys were like that. I mean, if you go back to a bunch of our players that went down there, Cameron Wake being one. Cameron Wake was our biggest proponent when it came to talking about the Canadian Football League, and Nathan is too. I mean, when he talks about his time up here, he has nothing but great things to say about this league and everything else, and the fact that he's Canadian is all is part and parcel. But yeah, right now his concentration is on the NFL, which we knew it would be, and I'm wishing him the best.
Where are you at with Hatcher and Lee and their rehabs, and how does that impact you?
They're rehabbing as expected. I mean, it's unfortunate that those injuries are as catastrophic as they are. We're in the process of, they're rehabbing in the right direction. I know it's probably that injury, as the doctors would say, seems to heal quicker nowadays, but the road to recovery is still longer. Even though you may feel you're ready to go, you're not ready to go until there is a timeline on it, and they're on that timeline. But they feel that they're ahead of the schedule, which is great. But the doctors would be cautious to say, hey, that's just the way that this injury is.
Does that impact you in terms of free agency, saying, hey, you know what, we're going to go get a half, or we're going to get a receiver, and those guys are going to be our starters, and when we get TJ and Keon back, it'll almost be a bonus? Yes,
we have the utmost. We are going to bring some good receivers, and we signed some good receivers already. So the next group of receivers are going to be really good. Mr. Hatcher is our leader and is our guy. Unfortunately, he's going to be on the sidelines, and TJ's the same way. But I don't know if those guys can be replaced, to be quite honest. They bring a lot to our football team, and so we're just going to try to replace them as much as we can for the amount of time they're away, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. But I know we have some really good receivers that we've signed that are going to really try and make us the team we can be.
Is there a danger, like you're focused a lot on Betts, is there a danger of maybe focusing on one guy too much? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his sack kind of dropped a little later in the season. So
yeah.
you've got getting pressure on the quarterback is huge in the game, right?
Well, good question. There's two. We're focused on that right now, but the reality is the football team may not be as focused. We are building and have contingency plans and everything else. So that's just the way this world is. With the salary cap, you have to project, and you have to, let the cards fall where they may. And we're hoping and trying to get it all done, but at the end of the day, when we line up, it may not be the same team that we had last year, and we're trying to make it as much as it can be.
Are there players, not on your roster, because obviously the priority is to re-sign guys on your roster, but are there players that are going to enter free agency that you are excited about in terms of having an opportunity to potentially sign? Are
Yeah,
there, like, those type of targets?
Again, Moj, it changes almost daily.
As of right now.
Yeah, if you would have asked me a couple days ago, I would have said we're not going to be in the free agent market. I'm not sure if we are going to be buyers. We will sign some free agent players, but we might be day two guys. I'm not sure if we're going to be, we're not going to have our guy here ready to go. I just don't know if we're in that market. We're happy with our football team. We're happy with the current group that we have that we're going to be able to sign, which again puts a lot of pressure on the cap and doesn't give us the opportunities to sign maybe some free agents that outsiders want.
Is that gonna be fine? Can we fine him for that? Being a veteran around as long as he has.
There you
It's like Tortorella rule.
Correct.
It's like,